right in front of you. And the opportunity's right in front of you because you
also,
want this.
What's wrong with that? Why settle? I guess to play devil's advocate. Because I know my friend, she's 38. She's dated. She was in a 3-year relationship, but she's just like, it wasn't gonna work out for me. She's like, I'm not gonna settle for what I want out of life.
Yeah, but it's a fine balance because and I don't know the answer. Everybody has to make that decision for themselves. But if you I'm just saying, like, this is more of a problem for probably women in the church than men. But if I was a girl and my choice was trying to compete with all these other women, because twice as many women as men, and I'm trying to get one of those guys, and it's either get one of those good temple guys or be alone all my life and never consider a non-member or someone in between, I would rather have companionship. And I just don't think a relationship's all based on just spiritual things.
So I guess for you, because you apparently date like super active, devout girls, what's the point for you
dating them?
If you know that like that's
because I'm kind of like that friend where it's like, okay, if I dated a girl that was really devout and we fell in love, and I could probably go that way with them. If I dated a non-member, I could go that way too. I think I'm neutral. I'm open to both.
Yeah, I guess the reason for me that's why I don't even go on dates with people who I know like their end goals, it's not gonna match up for me. Like guys who are active in the church, like if you know that like, because if she's like super devout, super active, and you have all these doubts and questions, that's gonna come to a head at some point in your relationship.
Yes.
And so
it already is.
Yeah, exactly. 2 dates in.
I can already feel it.
So I guess from my perspective, what's the point of that if you're like, if you know she's like temple or bust, active all my life, and you're like, yeah, I'm not at that point. If I get married in temple, great. If I don't, whatever. I guess why date that? Because that's the discussion we were having. Because like one girl is dating this super active guy, and another girl is dating this.
Because
guy.
as a person, like me personally, I don't know where she stands. I'm trying to fill that out. But I'm open to exploring relationship with various different people. Because in my mind, a relationship is not just about church stuff. Do you get along? Do you have common interests? Do you love each other? And I think if you have that, go for it, right? And if I care about her and the Mormon thing's really important, then I'll support her in that, and maybe I'll go and we'll even get sealed at some point. But to me, so I'm open to that, but she may not be. And it's kind of funny because I was telling Melvin, my friend, I was just like, I think it's funny that I'm actually more open-minded than Mormon people are. They're very closed. And I actually, some devout ones like this, and I actually think that you limit your options and you might have something really great right in front of you, and because you're so set in a certain way, you overlook that.
Yeah, but to the same extent, like, if you know that, like, your future goals is like, if I get married to people, great. If I don't, whatever. And you know that that's a huge priority for it. Like, other issues are gonna arise. So I guess like that's my whole thing. I'm like, what's the point of dating someone if I know that like, because religion is a huge and sensitive topic. Like very few mixed religious marriages work. Like usually someone has to concede. Like you'd say like I do the active thing, but like you really like wouldn't want to. So I guess why would you limit yourself and being like, yeah, I'll go to church, I'll do my home teaching calling, I'll fulfill all the questions to get married in the temple. Just because I like her.
I don't know the answer to that. Because am I more, and then on the other side of it, let's say I date a non-member, and they don't understand how being raised Mormon has affected me. It's still part of who I am.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And so maybe a member what I need is like an inactive member.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, here's the thing: you need to find someone on the same plane as you. Like
no,
that's what our discussion was about yesterday. Like. My friend who's kind of wishy-washy, like, you need to find someone who is kind of like on the fence too.
I actually told...
So you can empathize and you can relate to each other, because then the one who's devoutly active, you need to date someone who's devoutly active, because you know at some point that's going to come to a head and like you're going to like, issues are going to happen. And so like, because if you don't have the same end goal in mind, you don't have the same priorities, it doesn't matter what the connection is like or the chemistry. If you know that you don't have the same end game in mind, there's no point in it.
I think, like I was actually asking my friend Wiggy today, I was like, I can already feel this with this girl. So I'm like, what do I do? Option one, next time we're together, I'll bring it up and just be like, here's where I'm at. If that's a deal breaker for you, okay. You know, I like you, I'm interested in you, I'd be willing to date more, but here's where I'm at with the church. If that scares you and you don't like that, just let me know now, no big deal. I'm happy with who I am. And I'm very honest. So if you don't want the honesty, and that's the deal. and just like throw it out there and just like almost kind of like might end it right there, or do I not get into all this deep stuff because we've only been on a couple dates, get to know her.
I'd only bring it up if she brings it up. Like,
Or
just a question.
No,
I
a little more. Make out with
you've already
her.
talked with other people about this, the fact that you can sense that animosity, the fact that you know that this is going to be a big deal, sooner rather than later. Don't drag it out.
Because yesterday, tell them what you told, what she asked you. She said on their date, like, she had questions, but they weren't second date worthy.
Yeah, she wanted to ask me deeper questions, but she's like, I probably shouldn't because this is a second date only. Like, the girl wanted to ask me about my past.
Open up the floodgates. Say, hey, third date.
At least she wants to get to the point, you know?
No, it's true.
Good thing.
But there's a part of me that's kind of like, do I pull her in a little more and then throw it out there and she likes me? And then she's like, crap, I like Kevin, but he's not perfect. But I like Kevin, but he's not perfect.
No, you deserve someone who's crazy about you and not agrees with you. You need the 80-20 balance. That you agree on 80% of the things, you disagree on 20. And I feel like even if the one thing you disagree on is the church, that's going to be more than 20% of what entails. You need I was watching a TED Talk.
So I was trying to decide whether I throw it out there now or would I say...
Bring it up. Just say, hey, I've been thinking about this. I think that we're probably on different planes, but like I'm still interested. And who knows, maybe she has all these doubts that she's never vocalized. That she herself is very kind of on the fence about things. Great.
She told me that on the first date.
But what?
That she
on the fence
had
about
a really good friend. She felt prompted to date him, like they're supposed to be together. She acted on it. It didn't work out, and now she's been questioning everything.
Great.
And I'm like, oh,
Maybe you guys are more similar than you think then.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
You don't
I can't
know
tell.
until you ask. Yeah.
I can't tell.
Yeah.
I would say bring it up. I mean, not saying like, hey, let's be boyfriend and girlfriend. But hey, I get that this is an issue for a lot of women. I'm not super active. I'm open to the idea of getting married in the temple, but it's not a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, and I like having sex.
I mean, probably save that for later. Like, I would probably avoid that one.
Yeah, I would avoid that too.
But, like, I feel like for me, and maybe I'm different, and maybe it's different because I date guys. I like upfrontness, I like boldness. If you're like, hey, I'm just interested in sex, or hey, I'm just interested in like, then I'm like, great, cool, okay, bye, or oh, maybe I am interested in this. I hate the game.
So do I.
And so, but the game is important because men do like the chase. You want something that you can't have. Yeah. So once a girl starts agreeing, you're like, oh, I want her. Like, and as men, we do that. Like, we instinctually want what we can't have. Mm-hmm. So the game is important. But to a certain extent, you have to say, okay, we're putting the game away for a little bit. Let's just talk about this. But then you're like, there's no guarantee. Even if like we're like, let's say like we're on the same page on a lot of stuff. Like you and her discover that you do agree on a lot more, and like she does have more deep doubts. But then the chemistry doesn't work out. Then great. But I would say, hey, I've been thinking about it. I know it's kind of a deal breaker for some people. This is where I am on the church. I know you talked about doubts earlier. I just don't want to get invested in someone or continue going out with someone who if I know the end goal isn't this. Like if it's like temple marriage or bust, devoutly active, blah, blah, and you're like, I don't know where I'm at on that. I feel like you need to be honest with yourself and you about what you're willing to do.
Yeah.
But because I just wondered that because we had this big long discussion about bullies yesterday, and so because all my friends were all the girls are on very different spectrums of the church.
Was one of them Lindsay?
Yeah.
Lindsay who?
No, the tickets for Love Loud got mailed here to Lindsay Strexma. Will opened them up, messaged her on Facebook. We ordered it at her house. We paid on her credit card, but we put my address on it because I was paying for it. I Venmo'd her, but because my phone wasn't working, so she just bought it on her computer. And so Will opened up the tickets and was like, he sent her a message, and Will was like, yeah, if she didn't respond, I was just going to take them. I was like, no, they're not yours. Like, I bought them. Like, no. But because Lindsay couldn't go to the concert, but I was like, hey, I'm going to buy a couple tickets because me, Justine, and Shannon all want to go. Like,
and I thought it was weird because when I first moved here, I